What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau. I hope you guys been enjoying your week so far. Well, when this comes out, I still hope you guys enjoy your week so far. Um, uh, man, Brandon Janeau Show on all podcast platforms everywhere. So also on social media, Instagram, TikTok. And also YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau's show. Um, got some stuff I'm working on, so hopefully, um, I will be announcing that soon. If not, then we'll see what happens. But I'll still be here, so that's more important. So let's get into a shout out to everybody that's been listening to the episodes and everything that's going on. Season seven. Oh my God, can't talk now. Season seven finale episode drops tomorrow, but it's already be out by the time it comes out. So, you know, hope you guys like that. This is season eight. I can't believe I got to season eight. It's crazy. Um, so let's get into it, man. Um, this is wrestling life, man. Um, and since technically last night happened, Monday Night Raw happened, but there's been a lot of things going on in wrestling, particularly for WWE. Um, excuse me, that I wanted to talk about. Uh, so I did my rate review show, which is out right now, for Night of Champions. My next rate and review show will be July 1st, which is Money in the Bank. So at Night of Champions, if you don't know, if you're a wrestling fan, you know, uh, Jay Uso pretty much kicked the living hell out of Roman twice. Um, And I saw a lot of people immediately being like, the Usos broke up with the Bloodline, and the Usos are leaving the Bloodline. And I'm like, no, Jimmy is leaving the Bloodline. Jay is still contemplating where the fuck he stands. And Friday night is going to be pretty telling. Maybe not this Friday, but maybe not next Friday, but the Friday after next will be pretty fucking telling because I feel like we're going to actually get a true understanding of where this storyline goes. Because my thought is this: I think Jey Uso gets in Money in the Bank. I think Jey Uso ends up in Money in the Bank, which will force him to decide where his loyalties lie. And Roman's gonna tell him to get in Money in the Bank. You're gonna prove that you're not with your brother. You stand on your own. Cool. Well, get in Money in the Bank and cash in the contract, win the contract, and then give it to me. Because here's the thing: what's been going on? What's the new title out there? The new World Heavyweight Championship, right? Wouldn't it be really interesting if Jey Uso or Solo, I think Jey, but if Jey Uso gets in the Money in the Bank, he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Roman tells him, okay, to prove that you're still loyal to me in the bloodline, you go and you win the Money in the Bank, but you have to give that briefcase to me, so I go cash it in on Seth Rollins because I want to be the undisputed world heavyweight champion, universal champion. Why would that not make sense for Jay, right? But yeah, so thinking like, where does Jimmy come into this? Well, Jimmy is going to fight Roman for the next two pay-per-views. I think Jimmy has to fight Roman like Jay fought Roman two straight pay-per-views. I think he fights him at Money in the Bank because people have been saying Roman's going to put his title on the line at some point. A lot of people say SummerSlam, clearly that's SummerSlam, but I think this Bloodline storyline, and I get people saying, man, they're gonna put Bobby Lashley in this. I think AJ Styles is gonna still be in that little carrying cross, whatever shit feud for a minute. So I can see, or even AJ Styles being Money in the Bank. I don't know, but I can see Roman fighting Jimmy for two straight pay per views, which would be perfect Because everybody's like rushing to be like, let's put them in the bloodline feud. Let's make Solo and Roman fight Jimmy and Jay. For what reason? If I am WWE, I'm prolonging this shit as long as I fucking can. I'm not putting them in a match against each other. Not yet. And this is what I do. I would do what I just said. I would let Jay win Money in the Bank. I would let Jimmy and Roman fight at Money in the Bank. I have them fight at SummerSlam. I would let Jay cash in Money in the Bank on Roman. But Solo comes out and stops him, which will create the energy you need for Solo, Roman versus the Usos. Right now, there is no real reason to have Roman and Solo fight the Usos other than Jimmy and Jay. Well, Jimmy pretty much disobeyed Roman and he pretty much said, fuck the bloodline, I'm out of this shit. But Jay is still kind of in the middle. And Solo's in the middle. Nobody really knows where the fuck Solo lies. Solo's in the middle. He's been looking at Roman like, bro, I could Samoa spike your ass just like I could Samoa spike them. I don't really need any of you. And I think that that's kind of where this situation lies because Jay is kind of still in the, I don't know really where I lied. This is literally my twin. This is literally my best friend. This is literally my blood. This is literally my brother. Versus Roman, who he's fought and knows I got beat into the bloodline. I know if Roman wants to, he can beat the living hell out of us. And nobody's going to stop it. Plus, on top of that, something that people don't want to also put into perspective is they kicked out the family, which is what Roman kept telling Jay. If you don't obey me, if you don't join the bloodline, then if you're disowned by this family. So that is a very interesting situation into itself. I personally would have Roman and Jay fight for two pay-per-views. Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. I would have Jay win Money in the Bank, briefcase. But I would have Roman tell Solo, make sure Jay cashes in on set. Make sure Jay gives me that briefcase because I'm going to cash in on set during his match. But Jay goes ghost. And then Jay pops up to pretty much cash in on Roman. Or he decides to stop Roman from beating on Jimmy. He's going to finally give him the Money in the Bank briefcase. But instead, he turns on him. And he decides to cash in on Roman. But Solo comes in and kind of stops it. Because Roman still needs somebody in the bloodline. You can't just have Solo and Roman go on by themselves for no fucking reason. You got to have a reason for why they're doing it. And Jay kind of also looking at Roman after Jimmy did it. It feels like Jay is still in the bloodline, even though he's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And it kind of is that. And again, like I said, we don't know what Solo lies. What I would do, I would have Jimmy and Roman fight for two pay-per-views straight, and I would have at Clash at the Castle the Bloodline storyline finally breaking up. Well, kinda. I would have the Usos finally leave the Bloodline, and I would have them fight Roman and Solo at Clash at the Castle because you do need a main event caliber match. And I don't know what Drew McIntyre lies, and I don't really know what Sheamus lies. So technically, you can run with the narrative of, and Drew's on fucking Raw. So if Drew comes back, Drew McIntyre could fight set for the Royal Heavyweight Championship, and then you will have that be your Clash at the Castle for the fans match. Whereas for the main event, that would be the Bloodline storyline. That would be Roman Solo versus the Usos, which you actually want. But then it sets up another conversation of where does Solo now lie? Because now Solo's going to go with Roman, but he might not want to be with Roman. He might actually just want to be, he might not want to be with his brothers either. He might just want to be on his own. And I feel like a lot of times WWE fans, we kind of pander for shit. And then when we get it, we kind of like, well, that didn't play out the way I thought it would play out because it wasn't the right fucking move. I see people saying, well, and here's the thing: WWE's smart enough to know. Let's put out these fake ass reports. Let Roman fight the Usos, and let Solo and Roman fight the Usos at Money in the Bank. And that might be the match at first, and then I can see Jimmy being like, I want to fight you one on one. I want to beat you. I want to prove that I can be the tribal chief, which is something that he said Friday fucking night. It would be reverting back to what the fucking storyline was about, being the tribal chief. He said, "I am the tribal chief," which brought out Roman. If Jimmy and Roman fight at Money in the Bank in SummerSlam, that would put a kibosh on what the Usos could do to Roman. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna run Roman and Solo, the Bloodline versus the Usos, which is stupid. But I think this is how I would move if I was WWE. I would have Jimmy and Roman fight for 2 straight pay-per-views. I would have Jay win Money in the Bank, and I would have Solo still be kind of, we don't know where he lies. But I do plan to see if Roman is smart. That Solo, your brothers kicked you in your face and cost us a championship. They kind of don't really fuck with you. Yeah, you're their blood. Yeah, you're their brother. But nah, like they are brothers. Like they are twins, bro. Like they're tight like that. Where you always been a baby. Nobody really. I took you under my wing. I took you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is where this storyline will hit another level. Clash at the Castle is where you have the Bloodline storyline blow off because what do they do after Roman beats the Usos at Money in the Bank? What's the storyline? If they fight at SummerSlam, what's the storyline after that? Because they're not done with Roman and Solo, at least not at that moment. So what I would do, and people keep saying, let Jay fight Roman again. For fucking what reason? He's not going to beat him. At least if you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, you give people hope that Roman could lose to Jay because Roman had been through this traumatic situation with Jimmy. He had to beat another Uso down, which would prompt Jay to come out there and finally have to turn on Roman because he would not, one, he would have the reason to do it, and two, he would have an actual factual situation in hand that he would actually have to do it. He would have the Money in the Bank briefcase, and plus, he just beat the living hell out of your brother. You probably want to beat him. And plus, on top of that, the Tribal Chief storyline is still alive because that is what this Bloodline storyline has been. They just circled back around, and now it's Jimmy getting a chance to fight. Because, like I've said numerous times, Jay is the only one that technically ever had a chance to fight for the Tribal Chief mantle. Jimmy did not. He just voluntarily went into the Bloodline. Same thing with Solo. He was sent by the elders. This is where this storyline gets interesting because if Jimmy actually fights Roman, Solo is the last piece of the puzzle. Where does he lie in this conversation? My feeling towards this is very simple, but people are stupid. People are stupid, and you want something that's so out of the ordinary for fucking what reason? Because what's the storyline? If they fight at Money in the Bank, let's say this: the Usos and Roman and Solo fight at Money in the Bank. What happens at SummerSlam? You're gonna have them fight again? For what reason? They're gonna lose. What's the reason? At least prolong it into a Clash at the Castle, which is September. At least you would have now a storyline going into September with the money, and because Roman's not dropping these titles until possibly WrestleMania. So if that is the case, just like you're prolonging Cody Rhodes getting a chance to go at Roman again, you're prolonging this storyline because you need Roman to feel like there's no reason. Because he got Solo. So what's the reasoning behind the Usos now? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make any sense. WrestleMania 40 is supposed to be Roman versus Cody again, right? If that is the case, if you're making Cody's road kind of a little bit difficult, make Roman's road seem so clear that he has no real options. Like you can still do the Bobby Lashley versus Roman. You can still do the AJ Styles versus Roman. You can still do those matches. You can do that shit. One at Royal Rumble and one at night at Elimination Chamber. You can do it. I think the stupidest part about it is y'all saying do it now. It's like, what's the reasoning? Prolong the story. Like Survivor Series, you're gonna have Roman versus Seth. That kind of stops the storyline for a moment. You don't have anything in December. You go into the Royal Rumble, Roman will need a worthy challenger, but that is also where Solo starts to realize I don't really need Roman. I don't need Roman. He's starting to kind of show you a little bit of that, but he's not ready Keyword, right? What did Cody tell him the entire time when he was going against Roman? You're not ready to be the man. You're not ready to be the guy. And by the way, why would you wait? Why would you have Roman and Solo fight them right now, the Usos right now, when the 1 year anniversary of Solo being put on the roster or to the main roster was at Clash at the Castle last September to make the Bloodline storyline get to this point? That is why I say wait. I see a lot of people saying, like, have it at SummerSlam and have it at Money in the Bank. Do it on the 1 year anniversary of Solo Sikoa joining the Bloodline and have him fight his brothers with Roman. Because that would be fucking better. Like, that would be so much smarter. And then have Roman fight set at Survivor Series. Roman can take his break after that. Solo, though, goes off and starts to really dominate and really picks up his momentum again to the point where now his brothers are coming back around and telling him, look, we can do this without him. They become now the Cody and Sami Zayn to Solo, where they're like, you can leave him. We got your back. Like, you acting like you ain't got no brothers. We are here. Come fuck with us. Which would prompt Solo then to end. This is how crazy this could be, because then you put Solo in the Elimination Chamber. You put Solo in the Elimination Chamber. Let's say Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble, but he's kind of still like, I don't know really where I lie or really where I stand in this situation. What if Solo wins the Elimination Chamber and he fights Seth? Because now you're gonna need a number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. What if Solo ends up because this brand split shit is stupid. It's not even a real thing. So you have 3 Raw and 3 SmackDown, but Solo's one of the SmackDown guys. And Solo gets in the Elimination Chamber, and that gives Roman the belief that Solo's still going to ride with him, especially if he wins his World Heavyweight Championship, which he's also thinking Solo is also going to give him the title, which I just said, if you're Jay, how do you prove to Roman you're still Bloodline? Win the Money in the Bank briefcase and then give it to me so I go cash in on Seth Rollins. Solo wins the Elimination Chamber and he gives up the World Heavyweight Championship match. Does he? Does he give it up for Roman? Does he? If Cody wins the Royal Rumble and he's got to fight Cody on night 2 again, somebody's got to fight Seth or whoever the hell the World Heavyweight Champion is at that time. Let's say Solo wins the Elimination Chamber, but then he tells Solo, hey, I want your match at WrestleMania. Or go win your match at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins. But he doesn't beat him. He does not beat Seth at WrestleMania. So the next night, just like the Usos, the next night, Roman's kind of like, Solo's still with Roman. So Solo now doesn't know the plan. Like, what's going on? Which prompts Roman to kind of do to Solo what he's doing to the Usos, where it's like, you lost the match. What the fuck do I need you for now? We don't lose. Which would prompt what happened at this year's WrestleMania into next year's WrestleMania. Solo comes out, but instead of spiking Cody, he spikes Roman. And Cody wins that way. Because, like I've been saying, the only person that beats Roman is blood. Solo is, I know people say Roman's ego. No. Roman's ego, of course, that will play a part, but somebody close to Roman has to beat Roman because he's operating on God mode. So why would he operate on God mode then lose to Cody Rhodes for no reason at all? Like, you have to have a reason for why he lost to Cody. But also you need the Bloodline storyline to really hit its dramatic conclusion. Do what you did this year, this time around. Solo comes out, but he helps Cody beat Roman. Cody Rhodes finishes the story. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline fall. Solo goes off and does his own shit. Maybe he joins the Usos. Maybe he doesn't. But at least this storyline will finally reach its climactic end. And that is something that WWE, I think, is planning for. Because, like I said, what's the point of having them fight right now when you can literally just do it on Solo's 1 year anniversary at Clash at the Castle. That's what I just wanted to say because it feels like a lot of people that keep trying to say they're gonna fight at Money in the Bank or they're gonna fight at SummerSlam. Why? Why not just wait to Clash at the Castle where you kind of need Roman to be an advertiser, but on top of that, the 1 year anniversary of Solo coming to the main roster and joining the Bloodline would be massive. And you blow it off with him, Roman, versus the Usos? Come on, man. I'm writing this shit for you. It's so easy. It didn't have that play out for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year. Until WrestleMania 40. Solo goes into the Elimination Chamber. Solo's one of the last few people that get eliminated after the Royal Rumble. Let's put it like that. One of the last few people. He gets in the Elimination Chamber. He wins it. He goes against Seth Rollins or whoever's the World Heavyweight Champion at the time. And then he loses that match, which will prompt Roman to think, what do I need you for? Which is his ego. You're a loser. What do I need you for? Which will prompt Solo to screw Roman. I'm just saying, this shit kind of writes itself. And then the next pay per view, you can have Roman and Solo fight in the Backlash match, which would make the Usos join Solo. I'm helping you out with WWE. I'm trying to help you, WWE. I'm trying. I'm trying. Good God. Oh man. All right. Another thing that I keep seeing people say. Um, I said this Saturday, but I'll say it again. I never thought Rhea Ripley was gonna fight Natty and then make and Natalia and have it a real match. Like, who the fuck thought that? Like, who the fuck? You needed a squash match, and it wasn't the Gunther and Mustafa Ali. And I was like, there's not gonna do it with Bianca and Oscar. So you kind of need a squash match, and it was Rhea and Natalia, and it was a good decision. I don't care that it was, and sorry to say this, but I don't care that it was Natalia's birthday. She deserved to get squashed. That was kind of obvious. People were like, "Oh, I can't believe she didn't." It makes sense. Natalia is not on Rhea's level right now. That just doesn't make sense. To have Rhea actually struggle against Natalia, that's kind of stupid. What I do think though, like I've kept saying, and I know they won last night, Ronda and Shayna. I want Shayna to fight Rhea. Rhea's already fought. Rhea's already fought. Charlotte. Bring back an old NXT rivalry. Let Shayna fight Shayna. Ron, Rhea fight Shayna. Because I don't think Ronda and Rhea would be a good fucking match at all. I think it'd be a terrible fucking match. It sounds good. It looks good on paper, but when you actually watch Ronda actually wrestle, Rhea could out wrestle her easily. And I'm not talking about like MMA style. I'm talking about like wrestling like that. Ronda doesn't have a chance in hell. I would actually have Ronda and Shayna break up at some point, and I think Shayna should fight Rhea Ripley for the Raw. For the, I hope they change these fucking women's titles names because this is kind of stupid to have Smack. And I do think they're gonna change it. That's why they haven't really put a particular. That's why they haven't really changed the particular names of it because they keep saying the SmackDown, but you see Rhea on fucking Raw, and you see now Asuka, but she's gonna be on SmackDown. It's kind of stupid. So I do think they're gonna change the women titles into what I think is gonna be the women's World Heavyweight Champion, the WWE's women, the WWE Women's Champion, and I think it's gonna be the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion. So I think it's gonna be two different belts, just like I think they're gonna do with the tag team titles. Where it's gonna be the WWE Tag Team Champions, and then it's gonna be the WWE, and then it's gonna be the World Tag Team Champions, or the World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, some shit like that. So yeah, that's probably why I don't think they really switched these belts yet, because I think it is still in limbo. I think the company is still in limbo. They don't really know particularly who they're gonna be releasing in the next couple of weeks. But on top of that, they also don't know what the fuck the storylines are gonna be like going into these next couple of weeks. Outside of the Bloodline storyline, everybody's storylines are kind of fucking stupid. Nobody has a real storyline. Nobody. Outside of the Bloodline storyline, and I would say Becky Lynch and Trish. That is like the only two storylines that WWE actually has that I could pinpoint what it why it actually makes sense. Like the rest of that shit, I don't get it. Rest of them stories, I don't get it. Every other story, I don't get it. Seth Rollins right now is the World Heavyweight Champion. Is he going to be in a feud with AJ Styles? Because it's kind of stupid to have AJ in a feud with fucking Seth Rollins when he's on SmackDown, which is kind of a slap in the face at a draft because the shit don't even matter. It's the stupidest shit. I don't get it. So a lot of people saying a lot of those teams last night, also on the women's tag team, was kind of SmackDown. And this is what I kept saying. I think they should fuse the women's tag team titles and the NXT tag team titles. Now a lot of people say, why you just didn't have the NXT women's tag team champions in the fucking match? Because that's not the money. And that's what they're looking for. If you put them in the match, what the fuck was the point? If they lose, then they lose. But if you can actually build the NXT tag team women champions on SmackDown and then have them fight at what are they like? They're like kind of UK. They're like British a little bit. Okay, had them fight them at Raw, Clash at the Castle, and it'd be a maybe SummerSlam. Have it happen. I think SummerSlam or Survivor Series. You have enough to do it. So yeah, I think they're gonna be in that type of match. I think it's gonna be like a winner takes all match. And like I said, if I was WWE, I didn't have Raw, SmackDown, and NXT all clash for one women's tag team titles because they don't have enough teams on the main roster, and NXT needs kind of a popularity boost from a Rhea and Shayna, like Ronda and Shayna. It'd be a perfect boost of popularity immediately on NXT if you could fight Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, you're fucking right. Let's do it. So, yeah. Another thing I keep saying, was it right to end Bianca's title reign? If they know how to make Asuka work this time, then yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with Bianca. I really don't. Like I said Saturday, I don't want her to fall into that Becky Lynch trap where you don't really have a real indication on where the fuck you lie. So you kind of like just in the middle. That's a bad thing. You don't want to fall. You don't want to be kind of in the middle. It's because there's nowhere to land after that. So yeah, I don't want her to fall into the middle. That'd be a terrible decision. Um, fucking god awful. All in all, man, the Bloodline storyline is still the hottest thing on TV. Money in the Bank winner for men and women. I don't know who is gonna win the women's because I don't know who the fuck can win the women's because you're not cashing in on Rhea, and you damn sure ain't cashing in on either Oscar or Bianca if they fight again at Money in the Bank. So you're not cashing in on either or. So it doesn't. The women's Money in the Bank winner doesn't matter. I hate to say it, but it doesn't fucking matter because you're not gonna win it. Because Bianca's gonna call Zoe Starks, and Zoe Starks is gonna call Bianca. I mean, Becky's gonna Trish and Trish and Zoe Stark are gonna cause Becky Lynch the Money in the Bank. Zoe Stark might actually win her match. So she's gonna be in it because you need new breed of talent. And that's the two women for Raw. I don't know who on SmackDown is gonna get in. Raquel Rodriguez is gonna probably be in it because she's on Raw, so she's gonna probably be in it. I could see Shayna maybe getting in it or Ronda, one of them. When it comes to SmackDown bracket, Selena Vega probably, yeah. Um, Bianca probably, but she's gonna probably fight Asuka again, so it doesn't make any sense to have her go into the Money in the Bank briefcase match. Shotzi, yeah, probably. But I saw her last year at the Money in the Bank briefcase match. She fucking was terrible. Good God. But I think what they should do is actually bring in an NXT star. I think they should go to NXT and actually tell them they're in the Money in the Bank brief because you don't have enough women on the main roster to have a Money in the Bank women's fucking match because it wouldn't be believable. So what I think you should do is go get Roxy Perez, go get one of the Toxic Attraction girls, and have them fight on the main roster and let them win. Let them win and get them in the Money in the Bank, and then it would actually create some form of freshness to that thing. The men's side of the bracket, I actually thought Bronson Reed should have won last night. I love Shinsuke, but I've seen Shinsuke in enough Money in the Bank briefcase matches. I'm good on it. Especially if he wins it, and he's not gonna probably win it. Ricochet's probably not gonna win it. That's why I was like, if you're gonna do it, you should have put Bronson Reed in that shit. One of the Judgment Day dudes is gonna get in there. Either Dominic or Damian Priest. I particularly want Damian Priest in it. I think he should win, but they're gonna probably lean towards Dominic because they know he got heat. But he's not gonna beat Seth, and that's the fucking crazy part. Like he's not gonna beat Seth, so you're wasting the Money in the Bank briefcase. And again, like I just said, if I was WWE, I would let everybody think LA Knight's gonna win it. I would let people think Dom's gonna win it, and then I would swerve him and put Jay in it and have him win because then it would be like, oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't see that element of the Bloodline storyline because they're giving, like I said, they're giving you false ass reports saying, oh, they're gonna fight here and they're gonna fight there. Why just have Jimmy and Roman fight at Money in the Bank at SummerSlam and have Jay win the Money in the Bank briefcase? You killed two birds with one motherfucking stone. You killed two birds with one motherfucking stone, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, this storyline of the Bloodline storyline is one of the best to ever do it, and I can't wait to see what happens going forward. Yeah. So this is Wrestling Life. I just want to get on here and talk some wrestling. Sorry, but this is Wrestling Life, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Peace.